moral arc of the universe is long, but it bends towards justice. Martin Luther King again. And hear what Rosa Parks said. I would like to be known as a person who is concerned about freedom and equality and justice and prosperity for all people. Rosa Parks said that. This is the conversation on OKFM 99.5. Plenty of things happening in Liberia. Said if you live in a glass of natural. Is it a day we are using justice to return to those good old days? The moral rectitude was the order of the day. Respect for culture, tradition, and norms. Respect for women, children, men, young and old. It is a precedent set by the Supreme Court of Liberia. It would not be seen as a landmark case, but for me, it is a total precedent set. And I ask again, are we returning to those good old days? When people knew their elders, when people loved and respected our culture, values, our norms, respected societal obligations. Oh yes, we delve into all of those. The Supreme Court has taken yet another decision, render yet another judgment, render yet another opinion that shall long, long, long live with us. Even generations to come will read, will understand, will know what necessitated the decision of the justices on the bench of our very high court on the Temple of Justice, the Capitol Hill. Welcome to it. Let's now go across the African continent to hear what's making news. Fast check, our talking point, our guest segment, or ahead of us on this broadcast. South African President Cyril Ramaphosa said he would deploy the army to help the police fight criminal gangs and illegal money in this country. Gang violence is a major problem in South Africa, which has one of the world's highest murder rates. Organized crime is now the most immediate threat to our democracy, our society, and our economic development. Ramaphosa said in his annual State of the Nation address, known as Sonan, on Thursday. I believe and I will be deploying the South African National Defense Force to support the police, he added. And I was reading through this article from the BBC this morning, and I would like to share with you as well. Africa's head of states are gathering in Ethiopia's capital, Addis Ababa, for the annual meeting this weekend at a time when the continent's place in the world appears to be in flux. Kenya's Prime Minister Mark Carney, speaking in Davos last month, described an arresting image of the future of international relations. Other countries were at the table, all they were on the menu. For Africa's leader, who for years have been arguing that they should be dining at the top table, it was not an unfamiliar analogy. But in the second term, U.S. President Donald Trump has accelerated the trend towards great power domination of the world affairs and ditching of multilateralism. As the White House updated security strategy says, not every region in the world can get equal attention. Trump's pivot towards the Western Hemisphere, as well as time spent in the Middle East, has amplified or implied less focus on Africa. This is the conversation on OKFM. Dr. Emmanuel Yuri Yakpawolo is our guest this evening. Between now and 4:30, 4:45, a lot to talk about. The Supreme Court has taken a decision. It's a landmark. Whatever way you term it, the Supreme Court has set a new precedent. We'll hear from you, Liberians. We'll allot you time to hear from you. President Bwaga has issued new executive order as well. Many more to talk about. Stay with us.
Is your car sick? Is your car having engine problem, wheel alignment, or air conditioning problems? Then, here's your solution. Here's the medication for your car. Automed's Garage on Girdle Street, opposite the Old General Ministry, is the right clinic for all your cars. With our local and international professional mechanic, we get your car back in good shape. Automed's Garage. We have a multi-spray booth that leaves your car sparkling, or Car Care Center, CCC, that takes care of your car interior and exterior. We get your car the modern rims and doors handle. Let's just say we pimp your ride. Make your car look modern at Automed's Garage on Girdle Street. We have a professional tire center that change your tire in no time. With our state-of-the-art diagnosing machine, we know exactly what's wrong with your car. No guessing. Our tow service is one of its kind. Tow your car for a reasonable amount if we won't fix your car. And for free if Automeds will service your car. Our prices are unbeatable and our customer service is outstanding. So whatever your cars need, call Automeds Garage on Girdle Street, opposite the Old General Ministry, on 0555-535-307 or 0777-884-077. Automeds Garage. We care for your cars. I become a peasant from my happiness.
We are brave. We are passionate.
Hey, Tanu, I need cash and there is no ATM around here.
Really? Did you try the EcoBank POS?
POS? I said I need cash. What is it about POS?
Judy, you can get your cash through the POS. All you need to do is to visit any EcoBank Express point or petrol trade gas station and request to use the POS. Guess what? It can also take other bank cards.
Oh, widow, you mean cards from banks overseas too?
Yes, it should just be your Visa card.
Wow, great. So when there is no ATM around me, I'll just use the POS to get my money fast. EcoBank has made it too easy, man. EcoBank and innovation that will 5 and 6 so.
EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank.
Your favorite RLJ Kendeja Resort and Villas is new and improved with top-notch first-class services guaranteed to make you feel pampered and special as our royal guests. Ideally located on the RI Highway, a few minutes drive from the rehab junction, right in front of the Atlantic Ocean, you are assured of a peaceful, serene atmosphere of a home away from home. The ingredients for our Liberian meals are freshly picked from our garden to give you that unforgettable taste of Liberian cuisine. Our villas are designed and equipped to ensure every night spent with us is a memorable one. We are well positioned to host conferences and seminars of all sizes, as well as outdoor events like garden weddings and parties. Book your upcoming events and leave the rest for us to handle with 100% satisfaction guarantee. You can reach us on 0770-533-415 or email us at reservations@kendejaresort.com.lr. Visit our website on www.rljkendejaresort.com.lr. RLJ Kandija Resort and Villas, for memories worth repeating.
Our help, our life is in noise to make it better. Let's work together.
My people, hello. My name is Dr. Catherine Thomas Cooper. I'm the Chief Medical Officer of Liberia. I got good news for everyone. The government and the partners last year started to give malaria vaccine in 6 counties in Liberia in the southeast. We are now ready to carry the vaccine to the remaining 9 counties. My people, the malaria vaccine will be given to children from 5 months all the way up to 2 years. Our children will take the vaccine 4 different times to help reduce malaria from catching them fast and for them not to get sick with malaria. The vaccine is safe, available and free. No paying money for it. So let us carry our children to the clinic or the hospital for the malaria vaccine. When we carry our children to the clinic or hospital, the doctor people will tell you more about the malaria vaccine. My people, even when your children taking the malaria vaccine, we must always make sure that they sleep under the mosquito net everywhere and every night. Let us also remind you that when our children are taken to the clinic, we must make sure that we carry our baby vaccine card. Carry your 5-month-old children and your children less than 2 years old to the clinic or the hospital for malaria vaccine. The vaccine is safe, available and free. No paying money. This is a message from the Ministry of Health and her partner.
And together we can have a healthy family and have a healthy life and be very happy. At home, let's follow the doctor's advice. This is the only way we can make it better for us and our family and our country. Our health, our life is in noise to make it better. Let's work together.
Good news to all travelers in and out of Liberia. ST Transport Service has introduced new fleet of buses in Liberia to take travelers from Monrovia directly to Ghana, Abidjan, Guinea and Sierra Leone. We also do connection for our passengers to Lomé, Cotonou and Lagos, as well as Bamako, Dakar and Banjul. We also travel from Monrovia to Plebo Harbour, Maryland County. For more information, you can visit our red light office opposite Zone 9 Depot 1 Police Station or call us on 0775 908830, 0886 888 538, 0777 775501 and 0555 558801. What are you waiting for? Come and enjoy our fast, reliable and comfort service. ST is here to serve you.
Good day and welcome to the Fact Check segment. This segment debunks disinformation and provides the verified facts of statements made online and on the radio. My name is Jerry Gay and today we will be fact-checking claims made in the last couple of days. On January 31, CMC political leader Musa Hassan Berete claimed on Smile FM in Grand Jide County that he is the only Liberian politician who has publicly declared his assets and published them in a newspaper. Mr. Berete made this claim while explaining the source of his wealth. To fact-check whether he published in a newspaper, our review shows that while the analyst newspaper published a March One 2024 article reporting that Representative Berete declared his assets. The paper did not publish copies of the declared assets or the scanned documents he shared on Facebook that contained them. Similar media reports followed asset declarations by President Joseph Human Boakai and Vice President Jeremiah Korn, but none included copies of their assets. Efforts to obtain clarification from Mr. Berete were unsuccessful, though his party, through its head of communications, Smith Toby, later confirmed he was referring to the analyst's article. Based on this, we conclude that Representative Berete's claim that he published his assets in a newspaper remains unproven. Meanwhile, Jacob Jala of the Citizens Movement for Change claimed that about 60% of Liberians are not connected to the national electricity grid. Jala made this claim on February 3 on Spoon Talk while responding to comments by Finance Minister Augustine K. Gafuan regarding Millennium Challenge Corporation's funding for the energy sector. To verify this claim, we reviewed data from the Liberia Electricity Corporation, which shows approximately 306,000 grid connections serving an estimated 1 million people. We also reviewed information from Jungo Energy Power, one of Liberia's electricity providers. Data from the company indicates that it has connected about 22,191 homes across the country. Combined, this suggests that approximately 328,191 homes, or about 27.6% of households, are connected to the national grid through LEC and JEP. However, there is no publicly available data indicating how many homes have been connected by LRB Energy, the company responsible for electrification in the southeastern counties. Additionally, we reviewed the World Bank's 2024 Liberia Electricity Sector Strengthening and Access Project Phase 2 document. The document revealed that only 25% of Liberia's population is connected to the LEC grid, while 32.7% have access to electricity overall, including off-grid sources. Further data from the African Development Bank indicate that approximately one-third or 33% of Liberians have access to electricity. Based on these findings, we conclude that Jala's claim is incorrect. His statement understates the scale of the problem, as available data suggests that roughly 75% of Liberians are not connected to the national grid. Well, this is all we have time for on the Fact Check segment. This segment is part of an MOU between Local Voices Liberia, OKFM, Prime FM, and Kia Radio to counter disinformation and help the public make informed decisions. This MOU is funded by the Liberia Media Empowerment Project, implemented by Internews with funding from the European Union. The funder or partner had no say in the editorial decision leading to the production of this Fact Check segment. We'll be back on Monday with more Fact Check reports to help you know the facts. If you want us to fact check a claim for you, please send us a text to WhatsApp on 0777 556296 and we will check for you. Also follow us on Facebook at Local Voices Liberia, Twitter at LVL Fact Check, and go to our website on www.localvoicesliberia.com. Thanks for listening. I am Jerry Gay. Goodbye.
Thanks to Jerry Gay and the rest of the team there at Local Voices Liberia for all they do for country. Today having to be a very interesting day, interesting for several reasons. But before we go into the hottest topic right now, President Boakai issues Executive Order number 158 establishing the Liberia Corporation for Strategic Investment called the LCSR. This executive order was issued today, the 13th February 2026. And I'm just going to read verbatim. President Joseph Boakai Senior has issued Executive Order number 158 establishing the Liberia Corporation for Strategic Investment, known as the LCSR, as a special presidential project to draft the implementation of the government strategic partnership agreement with Afriland First Holding. The executive order gives full effect to the government's commitment to sustainable economic transformation, enhanced resource mobilization, and inclusive regional or national development. The LCSR is conceived as a joint venture vehicle that will serve as the principal instrument for implementing strategic national development initiatives under the partnership agreement. Under the agreed ownership structure, the government of Liberia will hold 8%, that's 80% ownership in the company. Of this share, 60% of the government equity shall be equally distributed among Liberia's 15 counties at 4% per county, while the remaining 20% shall be retained by the government of Liberia. Afriland First Holding will hold 20% of its shares to be opened for financial or public and industrial participation, including commercial banks, insurance company, government entities, and other qualified institutions. The LCSR's mandate is anchored on the following key national priorities: mobilizing domestic and international financial and technical resources for strategic development projects; 2. Establishing rural microstructures as engines of local economic growth and employment; 3. Promoting agriculture self-reliance, particularly rice production and national food security; 4. Facilitating the construction and renovation of military barracks and other crucial public infrastructure; 5. Conducting feasibility studies, policy research, and advancing digital transformation initiative; and 6. Coordinating and supporting the implementation of strategic national programs consistent with Liberia's development agenda. The executive order places the LCSR under the supervision and coordination of the Office of the Minister of State with our portfolio, which will serve as a focal point for presidential oversight and execution. A board of directors comprising representatives of the government of Liberia and Afriland First Holding will provide governance and strategic direction, ensuring transparency, accountability, and full compliance with applicable laws and national priorities. In furtherance of its mandate, the LCSR shall enjoy the rights, privileges, and immunities stipulated under the Strategic Partnership Agreement, including exemptions from certain taxes and duties as provided therein. The Chief Executive Officer and designated senior and technical personnel shall enjoy diplomatic privileges to facilitate international cooperation and financing. The Minister of State with our portfolio has been directed to coordinate the immediate establishment and operationalization of the LCSR, initiate pilot projects in rural development, agriculture, and infrastructure rehabilitation within 12 months, collaborate with relevant ministries to complete all legal and administrative requirements for legislative ratification and institutionalization, and submit quarterly progress report to the Office of the President. Executive Order number 158 is issued pursuant to Article 50 of the Constitution of the Republic of Liberia, which vests executive authority in the President to ensure the faithful execution of laws, programs, and policies in the national interests. The order shall remain in force for a period of 1 year, during which the government will pursue legislative ratification to transition the LCSR into a permanent statutory entity, Its expiration shall not affect the continued legal existence or operations of the LCSR once duly constituted and functioning, issued in Monrovia, Republic of Liberia on the 13th of February, AD 2026. So that's the executive order from the office of the president. This company called the Liberia Corporation for Strategic Investment. Is it a company? No, it's an executive order establishing the Liberia Corporation for Strategic Investment. So a special presidential project to draft implementation of the government strategic partnership agreement with Afriland First Holding. So Afriland First Holding is going to be the partner that the government will operate with under the Liberia Corporation for Strategic Investment. It is an executive order and it runs for a year. So within a year, the government says it will seek legislative approval to ensure that it is an entity that will move on after the approval. And so that is it for that. In the coming days, we'll make consultations. They talk about some framework that hasn't been made public, so we do not know what is contained in that framework. This is just the executive order issued, but detailed of that framework is not mentioned. For instance, in this executive order, the president talk about certain percentages. If it came here to say under the agreed ownership structure, the government of Liberia will hold 80% ownership in the LCSR. Of this share, 60% out of the 60% of the government's equity shall be equally distributed among Liberia's 15 counties at 4% each. So if the equity here is $10 or $15, meaning you have to divide that into 15, so everybody can get something. They say it will be divided 4% each amongst the 15 counties. They didn't say because other counties are big, others are not big, so they're going to share it on that level. They say it will be well distributed equally among Liberia's 15 counties at 4% per county, while the remaining 20% shall be retained by the central government. Afriland First Holding will hold 20%. So the company holds 20, will hold 80. Ownership with a minimum of 10% as its shares to be open to public and industrial participation, including commercial banks, insurance companies, government entities, and other qualified institutions. That is it for that. Then we began discussion yesterday on the whole issue surrounding Prophet Key. And the reason for which it is important, it is because for time without numbers, we at OKFM have discussed and have raised concern over the direction in which our society is moving, especially when it comes to moral. When it comes to moral, when it comes to respect for what our traditional values, norms, and societal issues were or have been in the past. So the issue about disturbing languages, profanity, yeah, we know the ones to cause people. That's what I'm talking about. It's been something that we've seen that have gotten on the increase since the introduction of the social media to Liberia. It was just difficult a couple of years back to hear people sit on public platform to just rain insults of all sorts. Some things that are very terrible to say. It was just difficult to hear a Liberian man or a Liberian woman, except for people who would make flower in the community. They would get outside and curse each other, insult each other, say all sorts of things. But to hear people sit on public platforms and insult women, insult men. Don't get me wrong. We are all equal. But in our African setting or tradition, it is abominable, almost abominable, for you to just sit there and openly just insult women or curse women. It has not been Liberia's practice. It has not been the practice of Liberia, and it holds no part or share in the culture, the tradition, and the upbringing of a lot of people, if not the entire population. That is what I said. It became public, to a public knowledge when social media is introduced, and then people will have the space to sit in one room, sit at their home, in the living room, or wherever they choose to sit, and rain insults. Say anything they want to say to anybody at any time. On top of it is their definition and belief and thinking about the free speech law or freedom of expression as enshrined in our constitution and other laws of the country. So a man sits somewhere, open his Facebook Live, and say anything he wants to say. And there are people who will say, oh yes, free speech. The man must speak out his mind. They do not care about the message the person is sending out. They do not care about how that message will work and change the dynamics of societal norms, cultural values, and our belief as Africans and religious people. That's what I said during those days. It was difficult to hear a man say or stand somewhere and just insult women anyhow, anytime, whenever he feels like. It was equally impossible, near impossible, for people to even back or for people to celebrate individuals of such kind. Today, it is almost, not even more, it's possible in our society, evidenced by what we've witnessed over the last 3, 4, 5, 6 years. When anybody can get on social media and insult President Sirleaf as a woman, not just as a president, but as a woman, as a mother, as an elderly person, up to today's date, there are people still on social media writing insults and denigrating things about former President Sirleaf, even at the age and the elderly state woman that she is, with the what should I say, the ocean of respect she command across the world and back home. It didn't stop there. When Mr. George Weah became president, it even went on the increase. Anybody could get on social media because they disagree with certain principles or certain decision of Mr. Weah's government and say anything to the president of the country, insulting him anyhow, insult his wife, the then first lady, say all sorts of things about Mr. Weah, his family, his government, and his government officials. It didn't stop there. Now Joseph Boakai is the president. It has shifted. And the country is almost like a pool of insults now. Anybody can get on Facebook and say anything at any time. Anybody can call on certain platform and say anything, and they're allowed. And thankfully, yeah, okay, FM, you can disagree. Some of us here can sit here and scream and disagree, but we never dare disrespect our leaders. We never dare say words that are demeaning and denigrating to the presidency or to the legislature or to the judiciary only because we disagree with them. That is professionalism. That is what democracy calls for. That is what free speech calls for. And free speech does not call for insulting people. So like I was saying, anybody can open any Facebook platform now in the name of disagreement with certain people and just insult. People could sit anywhere and say anything, whether the people they are talking to are either the states people, they're statesmen or stateswomen of our country, or they are respected people. And they just say anything. No matter they care less about who's going to monitor the video, who's following them, who's going to hear it, and what the repercussion will be. All they know, it is this thing called freedom of speech and expression. Times are outnumbered. There are people on radio stations, calling on radio stations, on social media platforms, raining insults, being very, 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 very unethical, and saying all sorts of demeaning things. Then, after all of what have happened, the man called Prophet Key, Justin Opa Yezin, or Yesin, how he called his last name, I don't really know that. But commonly known as Prophet Key. And the most embarrassing thing about the fellow Liberians is that these people have huge followings. You won't believe it. Because somebody's going to say to cuss. I will not use insult again. Somebody's going to say to cuss. Thousands of Liberians will burn their data to hear one man sit on his platform to be cursing women, to be cursing president, to be cursing first lady, to be cursing lawmakers, to be cursing the speaker of the house, the pro tempore. Thousands of Liberians burn their data. They spend the money to listen to people of such kind. Some of us who sit and put ideas together and speak in the manner and form in which we speak, they do not have our time. They don't care to follow. They don't care to listen. But their focus is to listen to people who preach immorality, who use profanity, who insult leaders. And sometimes you wonder, where is the country headed? Majority of the people who are following will be young people. I can say that for a fact. Majority of the people who follow these people, just to hear vulgar, just to hear abusive languages, just to hear denigrating comments, just to hear words and comments that are contrary to our norms, values, our cultural and traditional beliefs, our religious standings and morals. They are mostly young people. Thousands will follow. And if you were to follow, all you hear is insults upon insults upon insults. And you don't even grasp what the message will be because of how they portray and line up the broadcast. So Prophet Key had gone on to offend the Supreme Court. The court wrote him. And he's one person who's known, I don't know which Liberians in my lifetime has really taken pleasure in openly insulting people as compared to Prophet Key. I don't know which Liberian has taken in my lifetime. Maybe it happened in the past. I didn't know. But in my lifetime, for the over 17, 18 years that I've been at it for my childhood up to that time that I've been at it for, I've not known or heard any Liberians on public platform using profanity or invectives as compared to this young man who is currently on his way, or he has reached South Beach. I don't know, because I'm on the radio. By the time I was coming, he has not gone to South Beach yet, but the court has handed down its ruling. So he has gone on to, quote unquote, offend the Supreme Court, insult the mother of the Chief Justice. Then the court wrote him that he should appear last week Tuesday to show cause, if any, why he should not be held in contempt. He went live again and started to make fun. He went live and started to make fun. The videos are available on social media. Oh, yes. His supporters will back him. They will throw mud at the Supreme Court. and you don't want to believe that those kind of people will have followers, where is the moral of the society? Where is the moral of fellow Liberians? So he went there on Tuesday. He told the court he didn't have an attorney or a lawyer, sorry. He didn't have a lawyer. So the court asked the public defender's office, in the spirit of fair judgment, in the spirit of fair judgment and respect for the rule of law and proper adjudication of the case, proper representation, and due process, the court asked the public defender's office to give Mr. Key a lawyer. He was given a lawyer. The court allowed him to leave. Wednesday was holiday. Yesterday, he went to the court with lawyer. He did not deny, ranting at people and insulting them. He admitted and pleaded for mercy. So the court said, all right, we've heard you. Tomorrow, 11 a.m., we will rule on the matter. The court ruled on today and found Prophet Key guilty of criminal contempt. And the court draw a clear demarcation of what freedom of speech and expression supposed to be, and how you are held responsible if your freedom, quote unquote, freedom of speech or expression injured another person. In the case of Prophet Key, the court or the Chief Justice felt injured and asked him to appear. And he did. They heard him. And the court took a decisive decision on today that Prophet Key goes to jail for 6 consecutive months, meaning August, before he will come out. 6 consecutive months. After the 6-month imprisonment, Prophet Key will be made to write a letter of apology to the Supreme Court, and that letter of apology will be placed in 3 recognized newspapers in the country for 5 consecutive days. On top of that, he's going to sign a behavioral bond and tell the court, say, look, I will not curse again. To me, it's fair enough. I don't know what you think. But for me, we must set some precedents. And the other argument will be, Prophet Key been here, he been causing other people. The court did not add fellow Liberians. The court don't get out looking for case. The only reason the court reacted because the court was directly attacked by your Prophet Key. The court was directly attacked by your Prophet Key. That's why he was invited. He was granted his will and given lawyer. He admitted to what he's done about his ugly vocal and insults he's bringing against leaders and prominent people of our society. And the court decided, now look, sir, you have right to your free speech and expression, but note that when it injured people, they have right to take legal redress. And that's what the court did. So I know a lot of people call here and talk about, the men causing other people, but the other people the men caused did not feel injured. If they felt injured, they would have gone to the court to seek legal redress. He and the jury and the case is another thing, because there was a ruling of the court there, and we can also go to it. So what I'm simply trying to say is that he went for the court, and the court felt attacked, and the court asked him to appear. He admitted, he did not deny. And the court said there should be some precedents. I see a precedent set by the court that is a true representation of what our values, our norms, our culture, our society agreement has been over the years. Oh yes, I see a ruling by the Supreme Court that set the pace for a clean discourse. That Trokon can sit on the microphone and disagree even with the Chief Justice without insulting him or his mother or without injuring his reputation. that Trokon can sit behind the microphone and disagree with the executive mention without insulting President Joseph Boakai, without injuring his reputation falsely, without insulting his family, without insulting the First Lady. Trokon can use the freedom of speech and sit here, as I'm doing now, to look into the face of Prophet Key to say, look, my brother, you were wrong. And the court said you were wrong. Without even insulting him, though, he's the master of insulting people in the country. He says anything at any time to anybody. On top of that, the elders in Nima said they are awaiting him. After the court ruled, this is why one of the government assistant ministers posted. Kelvin DJ Matali, Assistant Minister of Commerce, he said, judicial tyranny. Joe Matapata brother for 6 months, half a year. But on the contrary, you are dragging with corruption cases on your watch. Judicial tyranny. That's how a government official described the ruling of the court today. Let's hear what is tyranny. What is judicial tyranny? Judicial tyranny. What is it? Well, yeah. Hold on. Judicial tyranny. I want to read something out to you. Hold on. I want to read something. I'm going to read it. Hold on before Tefil course. This is the conversation on OKFM. Judicial tyranny in fellow Liberians often is a political term used to criticize courts, especially high courts, like in the case of the day, when they are seen as abusing their power or acting beyond their constitutional authority. So in this case, Assistant Minister Kevin Matali said the court's decision today was a judicial tyranny. This is what the definition is. It is a political term used to criticize courts, especially high courts, in this case our Supreme Court, when they are seen as what? Abusing their power or acting beyond their constitutional authority. In simple terms, it refers to a situation where judges make decisions that critics believe override the will of the people or lawmakers, effectively creating law instead of interpreting it. Where the idea comes from. In systems like the Supreme Court of the United States, courts have the power of judicial review, meaning they can take or strike down laws passed by Congress or state legislatures if they find them unconstitutional. So, the term judicial tyranny is not a legal doctrine, but rather a political or rhetorical phrase used to debate about the role of court. So, the assistant minister said that the decision taken today was a judicial tyranny. And it is a political term used to criticize the court, especially the high courts, when they are seen to be abusing their power or acting beyond their constitutional authority. I thought the court acted within its constitutional limits today, within the confines of our constitution. And the court was specific what a free speech is. Then, Senator Edwin Snow posted as well. Yeah. He said, Your Honor, Mr. Yami Koko Bessie Sr., Chief Justice of the Republic of Liberia and members of the Supreme Court bench, you have my right hand salute. Let's return the motherland to civility. I know there are other posts on social media, but I've not come across a lot of them. Before coming, I saw these two. And I thought to just make a highlight. So the assistant minister said what the court did was judicial tyranny, meaning the court overrides certain decision, it went out of constitutional bound, and so on and so forth, because Prophet Key is sent to jail for causing and injuring somebody. Yeah, the assistant minister said that. A government official referring to the court's decision in such a formal manner. Let's talk to a few Liberians. Emmanuel Yuri Yakpa Wolo, doctor, executive director of the Environmental Protection Agency. So the court gave 6 months imprisonment. Some Liberians spoken to by OKFM and other news outlets believe the court was lenient in the sentence. Prophet Key should have gone for more than 6 months. That's what they think. Let's take a few calls on 0777700 0555995 Those are the numbers. Hello?
Yeah, hello?
Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm Nelly Manuel calling from the Twitter.
Go ahead.
Yeah, please, I'm begging you. I want for you to please read the email, the ruling from the Supreme Court on Judy Andy. Our former culture ambassador, because we were aware that Prophet King insulted a woman and the woman carried me to the court. So we want to know the woman why the court came all way. Yeah, that the ruling. I want to know the ruling from the court on Judy Andy. Thank you.
Thank you so kindly. Let's see if we can talk to this person. Hello? Go ahead.
Okay, this is Trokon. I'm calling from Morocco.
Yeah, let's hear you.
I followed the discussion. I've also been following the whole Prophet saga. And I think the Supreme Court decision was decisive today. Whether they are ruled in favor or against him, what they did today serves as law. It's a precedent. Going forward, every Liberian now have the responsibility to be at least responsible.
Yeah.
I don't understand why our whole culture just started to switch and get deviated from this substance of having respect for elders.
I think it's because of the social media age as well. It's really promoting that. After the civil crisis, it became very worse.
So I think it's about time that we all come back to start up cool. I mean, Liberia is a decent country. We can still keep the decency. We can still disagree, like you said, and still agree in the end without using invectives on one another. So I was actually looking forward to the court decision for today because I knew that the decision for today will inform our next course of action as a nation and people on how people express themselves.
Were you expecting higher sentence than what it was?
No, I think it's okay.
Okay.
I think it's okay because in real life, Trokon, I can point out to the law in our constitution that say you can't insult people. However, insult is not ethical. So if the court rule on the basis of ethics, then fine. But
I think the court was specifically looking at what freedom of expression and speech is supposed to be like.
So the idea of keeping quiet throughout on these type of things is something that for me I have really been against.
Okay.
So when the court sent the key on Tuesday, I was feeling bad. I was like, I was like, is the court not telling us anything at all? But right now that the court made a decision, we now know that people are supposed to conduct themselves.
Thank you, Eugene.
The conflict of the freedom of speech. Thank you so much.
Thank you. More people. Hello.
Good afternoon, Trokon.
Yes, sir. Let's hear you.
My name is Daniel Fede. I call you from District 10, Moscow District. Thank you very much for the topic on the discussion, Trokon, this afternoon. I think all the parties in this Liberia, all of them are not happy. Even those that were there that they didn't take action. I don't know because of the fear of the election or what. They didn't take action. But I know all of them feeling happy. All of them feeling relief. All the old man, even President, we are the place is sitting down, he's feeling a little happy because they were thinking that if they were taking action on Prophet Key, he would have exposed some of their deeds at the time. But thank God that this president and the court decided to take the full legal action on this Prophet Key. Though he support the president, but the president didn't, think about whether he support. No, we should embrace free speech, but it should come with responsibility. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you as well. Hello. All right, let's talk to Mr. Gabriel Yenka. Welcome, sir.
Trokon, it's a pleasure. How's the afternoon?
I'm okay. Thank you for joining us. How yourself?
Yeah, praise God.
Let's hear you.
Honestly, if you follow me, I'm a friend of press, or
Mhm.
you say the media, but this is my first time mentioning anything regarding quote unquote Prophet Key.
Mhm.
I'm even amazed as how we even attach prophet.
I see.
His name,
I was telling my colleagues in the newsroom. I said, "Kwa, you even get very awkward in
I'm
that prophet."
careful. I hate to rest, so we just call him Justin, right?
Yeah.
The only reason why we say Prophet Key because maybe when you say Justin, a lot of people know him as Prophet Key. They don't know the person about whom you are speaking.
Sure.
So you use his popular name, but it's difficult to say somebody is teacher or Wrepue when he has never ever taught, or maybe he doesn't understand the difference between A and B. How can he be a teacher? So I mean, let's be clear here that he's not a prophet, so that the young people get to know. And then let's go to the substance of their Supreme Court's ruling.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I like to hear the court for once in our body politic. You know, the court completely disabused itself of any form of political persuasion and decided for once we should begin to regain the values that we have lost.
Yeah.
Our cherished traditional values. I grew up, you know, before the war. I can say to you, Liberia has always been known as a nation that places values and premium on discipline. You know, and we lost it because of the war. And thank God the Supreme Court bench, the full bench, is beginning to restore that degree of sanity and cultural heritage. So they've done extremely well, you know. To give effect to the ruling, I will say to you, two major things will happen.
Mm-hmm.
The Supreme Court, I'm sure they are fully aware that by this ruling, they are signing a caveat to the entire country that especially young people, our way of life in Liberia has never been to resort to profanities and insults and abuses only because you want to express yourself. You can differ categorically and very fiercely with me without insulting me.
Yeah.
And this is something that we must uphold and cherish. That's number one. Number two, the code has helped a whole lot in sanitizing our space, I mean, as a country, you know, because unfortunately, just as you put it, too many young people, thousands of people have always surprisingly hailed this machine of profanities and vulgarity, you know, over the years. And thank God the Supreme Court is saying anybody associated with this machine that has been gushing out insults in its raw form must think twice. It is not the way to go. So our young people now will know that you must hate everything associated with Prophet Key, quote unquote Prophet Key, and his lifestyle. And you must be transformed, never identifying with anybody or anything that resorts to insults and abuses to be able to express a point. And I think this is a milestone ruling for the nation. We must heal the Supreme Court, and maybe we must celebrate this day. This day must go down in history as a day to remember that once upon a time the Supreme Court ruled that our values as Liberians must be respected.
Okay, Mr.
And
Yeka.
our children must not be exposed to abuses and insults as a way of disagreement. Thank you so much.
Thank you so kindly, big brother. Hello? Hello? Yeah? Oh, I'm not getting you. I'm sorry. You can call right back. Hello?
Good afternoon.
Yeah, let's hear you.
Thanks for the fascinating discussion. My name is C. Eugene Wakai, and I phone in from a fellow resident this afternoon.
Go ahead, sir.
Trokon, let me respectfully agree with the deputy minister when he said that the Supreme Court is practicing judicial authority. I would like to even add up to it that they are practicing judicial discrimination.
Why?
That was the Supreme Court.
Why do you think so?
Yeah, because Prophet Key has been shot a lot of great leaders here, and the very others investigated those cases. Has been done. There have been no punishment prescribed.
How many cases of insult from Prophet Key has the court investigated? No, you said the court. You said the court has investigated a lot of those cases. I'm saying how many of them?
That's one. I thought the case.
Which one again?
We saw Buju Ben Keita crossing from right to the.
Hey, boss man, we kind of Buju Ben Keita. He said lots of those cases. So he said Judy Andy, and I said which one again when there were lots before the Supreme Court.
My brother, I would not mean.
No, but then you're not being fair because we wouldn't know about one lawsuit. Wait down, boss man. Wait, let's have a conversation.
Read a report.
Agree. So there is one court case involving Prophet Key insulting people that we know about is Judy, and the which one again? We said there's lot, and the court did not act.
What did they do at the time?
No, let's set the record straight. Do you agree that the courts have not received lots of cases about Prophet Key?
But they've been hearing it and they've
No,
been seeing it.
but the court does not go about chief. The court does not go about looking for case. If you go there, the court will act.
My brother, justice should not be for the rich or the higher ups.
No, let's agree that Trokon can sit on this radio and blackmail people, right? For argument's sake. But the court will not come here and say, Trokon, why you're blackmailing Mr. Peter when Mr. Peter does not take his case to the court? Why do you want to blame the court?
Trokon. Let's talk about maybe a lot of cases. Maybe people did not take all their cases. But let's look at the one that was involving Prophet Key, a state woman like Judy Anita who went to the court.
I don't have problem with you talking about that one, but you want to blame and film the court like the court had cases and never deal with it. No, then I will disagree with you on that. Yeah.
The court has practiced not only judicial tyranny, but the court has practiced judicial discrimination.
Okay.
They are saying that they are the gods of the land.
Thank you. That's all you there. Hello. Hello?
Yeah, hello, Trokon.
Yeah, the other action from you again. We gotta be deliberate. Every day we'll tell you, say, oh, you're lawyer radio. Go ahead.
You know, Trokon, for the first time since I know myself, this is the first ruling from the Supreme Court that actually adding value to knowing myself to be a Liberian. I'm sorry to say this.
Yeah, just call your name first. I know Fadi has added.
I'm Prince Tamanyuma. I'm calling from Sendell.
Yeah, Prince.
Of course, people may say there are other issues or other cases at the Supreme Court which are not there with.
Yes, that's not authentic, man. No causing case there.
But then this actually will actually save a generation to come. Can you imagine when I like the way the former representative said we should not refer to him as a prophet, and that again will save us. You know, the kind of way he used to take the social media and pollute the social media. That is why some parents don't even allow their children to use the social media, which of course is difficult. It is not you can protect your children, your kids from the social media. So I just want to appreciate the court. This ruling is a landmark ruling. It will go a long way. It will have a positive impact on this generation and generations to come. So thank you very much, Trokon. I salute the Supreme Court. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so kindly as well for your input. Let's talk to this person. Hello?
Good afternoon, Trokon.
Good afternoon, sir. Let's hear you.
Thank you, Chief. This is Edward Quincy M2. And I'm in Tuburu.
Yes, Edward.
Yeah, Liberia is an interesting country, brother. So we can remember during the President Weah administration. First of all, for the record, I'm a strong supporter of the government. They make it clear.
Okay.
Yeah. During the President Weah administration, not all CDC whatever perfect. He's there. I mean, he's the worst person ever on earth. And I agree with him anyway. I mean, information right now that I was just listening to that I'm working in the Supreme Court for Jane Perfectly now. So one of those are, encourage people to go to Mr. Yekolo house to start a children party. You're going after Yekolo 5 to 5. And only reaching the after Yekolo because you were insulting President we are, which nobody encourages you to do that. Now, at the end of the day, there's somebody reckless person who go and go to that house and insult their wife. So they want to take a person to court. But these people now that on the radio, I will not mention that to occasion like that to do that. Criticizing the Supreme Court. In fact, going after the Supreme Court now, they're going after. So the person that they're going after is the person that campaign for going to be elected. I want to cover the country. Anyway, I don't want to say something. But what I can say here is this. Look, my brother, I'm a Christian. And that's why sometimes we talk about being a Christian. Sometimes same thing. Okay. And that's why he said, people go bring the Bible sister and go and watch the guy live. Something really insult.
Most of them can be with me.
Seriously, if that guy go on his so-called platform, whatsoever, and he go live and start reading, so he didn't get 1 view or 2 views. That will be discovered. Nobody buying, but if project now they will get 2,000 views, 2005, 1,005 people watching him. So he did. Remember, I encourage people doing that. People supporting, people getting cash, people paying money. So what I can say today is back to your lab, brother. I think it's good. Let me go to that place more and experience some things sometimes when you come out in front of people that you will never insult me or woman again, no more in Liberia. Let's see how it works. How do we learn things on that?
Thank you. Liberians are speaking out. Hello.
Welcome to Trokon.
Good afternoon, sir. Let's hear you.
Thank you. My name is Lincoln. Lincoln T. Lincoln, I call from District 8.
What the T stand for? Let's just call you Lincoln.
I mean, Lincoln T. Lincoln.
Go ahead, Lincoln.
I'm so surprised when I hear people trying to create mountain where there's no possibility for a hill to be erected. The Supreme Court came down with a verdict. And for me, I'm very happy. I want to tell the Supreme Court thank you. People who are calling and saying, "Oh, why did they not come down with a job?" I mean, the verdict on perfect key when he sorted Manapoing, all the kind of stuff. Yes, okay. Let's take it as face value. But the guy who was guilty today, is it different from the one who insulted Manapoing? That's the same man. So what's the issue? You cannot question the judgment of the Supreme Court. If the Supreme Court did not see any magnitude in the first case, where's the issue? Now the court has come down with a verdict that you can complete with it. If the people are going to be set, you have to see they'll be very bad people. You call it the Supreme Court as a tyrannic judiciary. Now when they go calling out for question again, you will be just simple again. You'll be questioning. Oh, they want to clamp down the man. So very fast, the higher decision make of our land. You know where it takes? They go come with a verdict. You know how many people have been insulting? Today is the judgment day. They just want to criticize the judgment of the Supreme Court. I want to hear the Supreme Court, but I want to take a debate. Anybody who want to go against the Supreme Court. That's it. Thank you, man.
Don't cause here too. Hello.
Hello, Trokon.
Yeah, let's hear you.
Thank you so much for the opportunity you saw to my name Paco from Siamas. Thank you so much for the opportunity to call me my day fan to them. Therefore, people you.
Amen.
So, there's something how to be in the country. Thank God to the province. Thank God to the chief justice. Therefore, people were there. That is something come from somewhere. There's a serious matter for me. Can't just join people. Then you get people clapping your hand for you. Then you go to that song, the same one number, that's a still come from somewhere. The other don't make on a land for you. The other radio station a land for you. The enough for you want. They for me who on the platform, they for married to our resident, they for my children in the school, they for my mother in the market. What mean they call too much? The very same court, the president, where the power government are taking easy with it, they all come out here, he said no. At the time, we all go to the food to go for.
Okay.
Then go to the chief justice, that come you in, that person come from somewhere.
Okay.
That brother says that we will be causing a level for that who wants to be. Thank you, so much for you.
Thank you as well. Hello. Hello, are you there? Let's hear you. Oh God. Hello.
Yeah, Trokon.
Let's hear you.
Yeah, Trokon, I must appreciate you this afternoon for how you doing. Anyway, I'm Wrepue calling from Central Monrovia.
Mm-hmm.
Trokon, something is happening in our country. People want to refer to what is happening with the chief justice as a turning point for Liberia. I do not feel like that.
Mm.
The reason is that this country, we should not make people to do things that is not called for in society when it is not us. Then tomorrow when it is us, we want to take action. The very president today, who is president, but he is just the former president here, and he went and showed property here and slapped the property and allowed property to use your statement without condemning it. One day, these things are wrong for our society. That is wrong for our society. Should not be seen and be thinking that something good to do. They are scapegoating. They are not doing anything to say they are fighting for the rest of the country. It is because they are letting them down. That's why they are doing it. It is not because they know that it is bad for society. They knew it ever since. You didn't went to that very post when she just said her complaint. It was Bishop saying that live on your radio, on your very media there. Instructing the Zaba says it was a freedom of speech. Is he not an advisor to the president? Is he not an advisor to the president?
Is it who are live on the radio, yeah?
Yeah.
Is it who are live on our radio?
Bishop Keita was live on the radio.
He called?
When he said, yes, when Prophecy insulted Judy.
Oh, he called on the radio and said they were free.
It was on one of your programs there. He was justifying why Prophecy should be free. That's why he was free.
Okay.
And the recording is there.
Okay. I don't remember that happening here, but anyway, let's hear this person. Hello?
Yeah, good evening, Trokon. Clarence came and calling from Ghana.
Let's hear you, Clarence.
No, today is supposed to be a happy day for all Liberians. I don't know why some people putting politics in this thing.
It will always be that's democracy.
Our children will copy from us. And more besides, those who expecting to talk to the children, they are the ones doing the kind of insult. Can you imagine the chapter building? When one of them ready to open that, if I'm not highly you can come back. All those things were happening. If let me just be very frank, how the other country will even be looking at us. And we have great culture in Italy before. Respect used to be here. Any older person used to be your father, not because he born you or not. Any older woman used to be your mother. But now everything just scattered. But thank God, I guess people say, so long as people have taken the step, I believe more people will come to their senses. This is another good day for Liberia today again. I'm very, very happy that our children come out in good society. But not in a society that there will be no respect for older person, there will be no respect for women. Thank you so much.
Thank you so kindly. Hello?
Yeah, hello?
Let's hear you. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was calling from Single Village.
Let's hear you, ma'am.
I just tell God, thank you. That the government get more peace all over. When Joshua were abused, a Joshua coming in, take the second one to the court, you have a thing to me to me say, Joshua to me,
no, but wait now, wait, Mama. President, wait, I just want to say something before you go ahead. President can take people to court. And you know that one?
Okay, President can take people to court. The president government, some of the information minister or not a few job, we have to job must not break. Your president will say that he will not talk anything, he will not condemn anything. They see what you're doing. It will go after the United Party tomorrow.
So that wouldn't win it on us? With the journalists, eh?
But what I'm telling you, all your
we can invite you can call about the cost. They country go. Anyway, hello. People get angry. I just say we can call you can call about the cost. Go ahead.
Am I in?
Yeah, you in.
Okay, thank you.
Go ahead.
Thank you very much, Trokon. Let me appreciate you for the topic on the discussion. My name is Mohamed Samonu Balo, and I'm in from Jamaica Road. Okay, quickly the issue. Let me appreciate the Supreme Court for the ruling today, which of course I took on. I'm very much relieved today. But on the other hand, my spirit.
What do you have with your spirit? Hello? Oh, this person's gone. Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, after you will take the last three. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
Trokon.
Mm-hmm.
Tell him, make me allow. What happened?
Sorry, my man. Other people waiting too as you're talking.
My name is Ben Chatter, member of Unity Party Intellectual Bureau.
Yeah, you need a party. I hear you.
Thank you. Trokon, to be friends, I think it's very important. I agree with the Supreme Court ruling to be friends. But I hope that they should also observe this dual platform, for the Liberia.
Wait. The Supreme Court is not going to look for a case on anybody say we are going for the case and bring it. Somebody will have to complain. The only reason you see the Supreme Court acting because the court felt injured by Prophet Key's direct attack on it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but always this some reduction the same way they attack the same way too. So we are saying that maybe one of these days, maybe President Barack or somebody will what will be the result? Because people come and say, oh, why the president?
I mean, president can send people to court. How the president will send somebody to court?
Now what I'm saying now, somebody another person, since you will not get chance to say why had the president, why we the had people have
Okay. Thank you. Let's hold you there. Talk to this call from overseas. Hello.
Hello, Trokon. Good evening. How are you?
Good evening. I'm fine. Let's hear you.
Okay. Trokon, I'm very disappointed in this government. This is why.
Check on it. Introduce yourself first. Then you express your disappointment.
Okay. This is Entrek Jallo, and I'm calling from Brussels.
Okay.
So, I'm disappointed in this government, most especially the Chief Justice, who took, a very much bad decision by sending Perfecti to jail. You know, Perfecti has a human right. He has a right to say whatever you want to say. It is your right to listen to him or not. As long as he hasn't inflicted any bodily harm on anyone, he has the right to say whatever he want to say. Yesterday, this thing Perfecti did the same thing to so many people, and people like you, they were also clapping and hailing him. In fact, the Chief Justice is also on record of insulting, and the media play these clips. So what kind of example are you
Who the Chief Justice was insulting?
Yeah, I think there was some issue between him and someone concerning the job of his son or something like that. He appointing his son to a certain position and stuff like that.
I think I heard him defending that, but I didn't hear him insulting. Maybe that's on another clip.
Before he even became Chief Justice, this man was a judge before. He had a confrontation openly with people. He had insulted before. So if you want to come with equity, you must come with clean. And there are a lot of things going on. Okay. Like for example, the video regarding the girl at convent. Why can't you, if you want to set a precedent, stop some of these music that have a lot of insult and are not good example for our young children?
It's true, Andres. It's true, but the court sitting up there will not go looking for kids, and you know that. People have to run to the court and express how injured they are by certain decisions or actions.
Also, you're going to look for Perfect Key.
No, they didn't look for Perfect Key. The court said Perfect Key said something that injured the Supreme Court or attacked the Supreme Court. That's why they call him. He directly went for the court.
Oh, please, Trokon. Do you know how many cases we have that had not made it to the Supreme Court? The injustices that people go through every day, pains in their hearts.
That could be another discussion too.
And you just think, we just had a 14-year-old child that accused someone who was a minister of being raped. And up till now, even though they came up with the report, but they still cannot defend that report. We have another case where a young boy was sodomized. We have Odell Sherman, the 3 missing boys, the auditors, and you name it over and over. No justice.
Okay, Andrew.
Why are you making mockery out of our country?
Thank you.
And
For Prophet Key going to jail.
Yes, for Prophet King, a human being, he's a Liberian.
All right.
Despite of anything, he
Thank
is
you.
a Liberian and he has a right like any other Liberian.
Andrew, thank you. Our guest is sorry. Yeah, I don't call you back. Our guest is already here. We'll take a break. We'll be right back.
Good news to all travelers in and out of Liberia. ST Transport Service has introduced new fleet of buses in Liberia to take travelers from Monrovia directly to Ghana, Abidjan, Guinea, and Sierra Leone. We also do connection for our passengers to Lomé, Cotonou, and Lagos, as well as Bamako, Dakar, and Banjul. We also travel from Monrovia to Plebo Harbour, Maryland County. For more information, you can visit our red light office opposite Zone 9 Depot 1 Police Station or call us on 0775 908830 0886 888 538 0777 775501 and 0555 558801. What are you waiting for? Come and enjoy our fast, reliable, and comfort service. ST is here to serve you.
Our help, our life is in our hands to make it better. Let's work together.
My people, hello. My name is Dr. Catherine Thomas Cooper. I'm the Chief Medical Officer of Liberia. I got good news for everyone. The government and the partners last year started to give malaria vaccine in 6 counties in Liberia in the southeast. We are now ready to carry the vaccine to the remaining 9 counties. My people, the malaria vaccine will be given to children from 5 months all the way up to 2 years. Our children will take the vaccine 4 different times to help reduce malaria from catching them fast and for them not to get sick with malaria. The vaccine is safe, available, and free. No paying money for it. So let us carry our children to the clinic or the hospital for the malaria vaccine. When we carry our children to the clinic or hospital, the doctor people will tell you more about the malaria vaccine. My people, even when your children taking the malaria vaccine, we must always make sure that they sleep under the mosquito net everywhere and every night. Let us also remind you that when our children are taken to the clinic, we must make sure that we carry our baby vaccine card. Carry your 5-month-old children and your children less than 2 years old to the clinic or the hospital for malaria vaccine. The vaccine is safe, available, and free. No paying money. This is a message from the Ministry of Health and her partner.
And together we can have a healthy family and have a healthy life and be very happy. At home, let's follow the daughter's advice. This is the only way we can make it better for us in our family and our country. Our help, our life is in our hands to make it better. Let's work together.
Thank you. Welcome back to the conversation. From now until 6 o'clock, we will talk about the environment because it is important where we live and to talk about it, talk about some of the issues affecting our environment, our surrounding, and efforts being made by the Liberian government through the Environmental Protection Agency and partners to resolve some of the challenges we face with. I'm often having them on the radio because I know the impact of a terrible environment. I know what climate change has begun doing already. We have visible signs. We have visible records of how climate change is impacting our society. I come from in Grand Bassa. I know there's a little creek before reaching to my father's home. Now everybody know where they drink from. You cross that creek, you wash your feet before you enter the town. I mean, that creek has dried up until there's no drop of water again. That's just is another sign of what climate change and global warming is doing to our earth. So it's important to have these experts, to have the environment people to come here tell us what are we going through, how can we help resolve it, what intervention has been made by the government, how they're working with partners. So today we have with us again Dr. Emmanuel Ure Yakbawolo of the EPA is the executive director, and we are going to talk about the environment on today again for about 1 hour 20 minutes or so. Welcome, Dr. Yakbawolo. It's a pleasure to have you again.
Wonderful, Trokon. Nice to be here. Good afternoon to you, to the OKFM family, and all of your listeners, fellow Liberians. It's good to be here this afternoon, provide additional information about the Liberian environment, and particularly the agency in charge of the environment is the Environmental Protection Agency. So it's nice to always take time and come back, just provide additional information to all people. Some people may have brand new questions, try to answer those questions, clarify things as we continue to work.
How's the EPA, by the way? It's been some times now since we last had conversation. I know the last time I was at the EPA was about a press conference. We talked about it when the erratic rainfall, was coming and people were concerned. Oh, it's raining too much. Rain coming January, rain coming late December. How's the EPA, by the way?
The EPA is doing fine. I think workers there are energized. They are working daily to be able to save the environment. They work in a very difficult situations. You just had to mention some of those. Climate change and the impact on our people, environmental degradation, and everything else. The EPA, the inspectorate, our research department, our various departments within the EPA, they are working almost 24 hours in some instances. Emergency calls, different things are going on. But one thing the EPA has a group of young people, but also some old people who are very committed to saving the environment. And what we've done there is basically to provide the leadership, the vision, and they are following those visions, and we are working every day.
Like I said, the last time I visited, I saw two distinguished gentlemen who are your deputies. They appear very cool. They appear professional. Is it their real nature? How's the working relationship with them?
No, it's good. We have the Deputy of Administration, Mr. Anthony Cully. We have the Deputy for Technical Services, Mr. Dwell Bowley. So both of them are good gentlemen. They are very cool and to work with, and working with them every day. They have the same passion as we do have. But not only that, the entire senior management team of the EPA, they are all doing their best, followed by their assistant managers, and go down the list all the way to our janitors. We call them office care technicians. So we don't have janitors at the EPA. We call them office care technicians, and they are very important. That name is very catchy. They like the name. They are actually technicians, and their work is to care for the office, take care of the office. Mm-hmm. It's a particular profession in terms of knowing how to clean and how to clean properly.
Yes, it is.
They're using different chemicals to be able to clean, how much to spray, how much not to. Taking care of various things, making the area much more good and beautiful and clean. So they are technicians. So at the EPA, we don't call them janitors. We call them office care technicians.
That awesome. Thing to them, to the work they do. Again, Dr. Ure, most of the time when you're here, we just talk about detailed environmental things, and a lot of people do not catch what the EPA is actually for and what it should be doing. Give us a rundown of the code functions.
I think it's important, and this is, I'll speak to you briefly from our service delivery charter. This administration introduced what we call the service delivery charter. Is really pointed to government I mean, not just the government, the population, what you do, what your core function. It's like setting a government agency in the form of accountability, almost like mirroring how the private sector work. And so the Environmental Protection Agency is committed to protecting, managing, and enhancing Liberia's environment for sustainable development. Um, that's basically what we do. Our vision to be a regulatory agency that ensures a clean, safe, healthy, and sustainable environment for all, for our generations and generations to come. Our core mission to provide leadership in environmental governance, promote sustainable environmental practices, enforce environmental laws and regulations to safeguard Liberian natural resources, is to ensure that the environment is clean, safe, and healthy by working with partners to create effective environmental communication, education, and public awareness, developing laws, developing regulations and policies and standards, effectively monitoring compliance to environmental laws and policies, provide high-level quality information and advising on the state of the environment and related matters, ensuring effective environmental planning and reporting. Through this mission, we aim to address the public needs with professionalism and dedication. Our core values are based on integrity, upholding transparency and accountability in our operations. We do this by professionalism, delivering services efficiently, ethically, and in line with national standards. And then sustainability, promoting environmentally sound practices for long-term benefits. Inclusion, engaging stakeholders, including communities and environmental decision making. Innovation, leveraging technology and knowledge in terms of environmental protection. Our services, we issue environmental social impact assessment permits. This is one of the core functions of the EPA. Before anyone does any kind of project that is affecting land and the environment, they need environmental social impact assessment. This is a document that will determine the nature of your work, the impact on the environment, and the people. If there are any negative impact, what are the methods you're going to put in place to be able to mitigate those negative impact? It's a very, very important part of the EPA. We conduct environmental audit and inspection. So the audit basically is after the ESIA and environmental management plan is developed, every quarter we check it to make sure that those things that you say you're going to do, you are doing them correctly. We investigate environmental violations and ensuring compliance. The latest one we've been dealing with across the city is a noise pollution, so that we have been conducting a lot of investigation into noise pollutions, and we're bringing violators into compliance that you can get, play loud music and disturb the whole community. That is not correct. We are working on those. We do public awareness and education on environmental issues. We conduct workshop training, stakeholder engagement. We are heavily involved with climate change and biodiversity management. The climate change negotiations that go around the world, we are very, very involved with it, propagating Liberia's share, ideals, and journey with the rest of Africa. We develop and implement strategies to mitigate climate change. It's a big part of the work we do, conserving Liberia biodiversity and ecosystems. We formulate environmental policies, strategies, and guidelines supporting research and innovation for sustainable development. So how many people even listening to me know that before you construct any type of construction, you need environmental permit? I think it's extremely important. We ask everyone to come and try to get an environmental permit. Our permit is not a deed, but it can actually kind of play a role in property protection. For instance, if you are building a home, say you're building a 3-bedroom home, you need an environmental permit. It's simple letter to the EPA describing what you want to do. We send people to assess a place, and then we give it the permit. Normally, it's done fast. But when we assess a place, we will advise you. If the place is swamp, we'll say you cannot build in swamp. So instead of building the swamp and filling the drainages and the rest of it, so during the rainy season, you and everyone else will get flooded. You follow that advice, we can't get a permit because you can't build in a swamp. But also, if you build your home, you have an EPA permit. If somebody wanted to come and construct their own home, their house very close, either to your door, your driveway, or they're trying to block your window and thing, the EPA can prevent that person from doing that because your home need adequate ventilation
Yeah.
in terms of the breeze that enter your homes, and you need to get a car to enter your garage and the thing like that. So if without permit, you have certain parameters around your home that need to be free. So we can come and tell the person don't do so because it'll be infringing on this person's right. So it's very important. We're asking everyone to try to get their environmental permits, but also, in terms of waste management, in terms of the companies that are producing much more bigger waste, what do they do with the waste and the rest of it? So those are really some of the functions we do. The mangrove protection, you know that the mangrove has been very, very threatening, but we are doing a lot of work also in terms of protecting the mangrove. They one time we had a World Wetland Day. We celebrated that in the mangrove, especially the Mesorado wetland. And so many work we do in terms of just the environment. You see, the environment is all we have. It's very important. Diseases emerge from the environment. If we dirty the environment, they come back. In fact, when the time Ebola, hate, or the time COVID-19 hate, those are all environmental issues,
Yeah.
right? And so keeping our environment clean, but also resources are finite. It means that they can finish. If you take the gold today, it take millions, if not billions of years for gold to be formed. It's not coming back anymore. And what do you do there in terms of the degradation, in terms of the water system and the rest of it? It needs to be done in a way that is much more sustainable. Are we there yet? The answer is clearly no. There are really challenges associated with the amount of violations. Are we doing something about it? Quite significant. We've done quite something about it. And we're seeing companies are coming into compliance, but some are not. And we are going after those who are not coming to compliance. So basically, broadly, this is the Environmental Protection Agency of Liberia, a key government function to be able to save the environment, safeguard resources for today and future generations to come.
As you go about performing this core mandate that you, what are challenges, by the way? I mean, seeing people carrying an awareness about how to take care of the environment. What are challenges you face along the way?
Some of the challenges, again, public education is one aspect of it. I think not many people really understand yet. So that's what we're doing some here using your platform. We'll continue to do those. So public awareness, for instance, we do have rainy season and dry season. Okay. By this time of the year, a lot of areas are dry right now and constructions are going on. Areas that normally would be wetland by say July, August, September, most of the areas are dry now. And people are taking advantage of the dryness of those places, constructing. So they are not aware that sometimes by the middle of August, those places will already be, flooded. So the lack of information, lack of awareness in terms of the land formation, that's just one example. Overpopulation, in terms of rural to urban migration, things like the city of Monrovia, you see that it's overcrowded. And so the more we have the place overcrowded, the lot of environmental issues we get into. Population growth, the more people you have, the more pressure on the environment, on the land. But population growth is ethical discussion. It has been going on for a very long time, for more than 100 years now. What to do with human population? So a border on ethical ground, right? But those are just some of the challenges. But some of the challenges are just also, I would say, for instance, one particular area we are having challenge, and we're having a discussion with our counterpart at the Ministry of Mines and Energy. We have a good collaboration. We keep working on it. It's things like artisanal mining, right? Artisanal mining, these are miners. In time past, they were taught not to disturb the environment too much because they were using human labor. Take, for instance, shovel, digger, and the rest of it, small gold mining here and there. And so there's not much of a regulation that guide their activities as compared to class B and A, like big gold mining company.
That use some chemicals.
What we notice is that class C miners are not behaving like class C miners anymore. They are using excavators, and whenever you use excavator, then that may need greater regulation because you're going to disturb the environment to a greater level. So they're using excavators, the boring are using excavators, and sometimes they're using mercury. Again, that's a chemical that pollutes the water. So
do they use cyanide as well?
We have discovered one or two areas, and those areas we discover with cyanide, which they're not supposed to be using. We close them down.
Okay.
Because cyanide is a higher level chemical, way destructive more than mercury, right? Mercury is really bad, but cyanide is a complete different level, right? Cyanide is supposed to be used only for class A mining, right? So area we discover cyanide, the companies we close them down because they're not supposed to be using them. But the class, the artisanal miners, they cut through the country. But we'll also see that the dredging, dredging the rivers, that's another area that is challenging. Too many dredges in our rivers, in our waters, that we are talking both to the Mines and Energy, but also the Maritime Authority. We started collaborating with the Coast Guard more and more and more. One area of challenge, particularly which I want to talk about, and we are working somewhere on it, and then I want Liberians to be aware, is sand mining. We are using too much, we consume a lot of sand in our construction. Liberians use sand a lot because we use sand to mold the bricks, we use sand to lay it, everything to plaster the building, everything is sand. Earlier, you were talking about global warming and climate change and sea level rise. We see the Atlantic Ocean threatening. You talk about Bikini, but I can also talk about whether West Point or around. In fact, the entire Monrovia, especially in terms of the entire sinker, the entire sinker belt that border the Atlantic Ocean is threatened right now. And then Robertsport, Greenville, Santa County, Harper City, Maryland County, all our coastal cities are threatened right now. Wow. So I think then there was some times ago before we came into office, some negotiation took place. The Mines and Energy, because of that, when you have an increased sea level rise, you can be mining the beach sand, the beach sand from the beach. You're going to increase it. They stop it, and then they move the miners to the river sand mining. But what we're seeing now, the river itself is getting degraded. The St. Paul and other rivers have been threatened, and the wetland is threatened by excessive sand mining because the population just need a lot of sand in terms of anything they're constructing. So we are now thinking about innovation. I think some Liberians can start to think about this now. Whenever you have problem, solution become a business opportunity.
Yes, sure.
We've seen that deck bricks, if you mold it properly, if you're able to heat it and get it right, like the Firestone brick.
I was about to talk about that.
Those are deck bricks, but the Firestone bricks, they are high-end ones. Some of them may be a bit expensive.
More modern.
Yeah, they might be a little bit more expensive, but there are ways to do it so that it becomes cheaper. Even when you look at the Firestone bricks, I have not done the calculation, but it might be cheaper still because when you build with that, you don't really need to plaster it. You don't need to paint it, right?
It's already designed.
Of course, it's already designed and beautiful, different colors.
I see a lot of people in rural Liberia were saying it's impressive. You see a lot of dead bricks because the sand itself is very expensive.
Of course,
some people resort to digging the mud, mold it very better.
Yes,
let it get dry.
And if it's done properly, it's actually better than the concrete one because the thing about even our concrete bricks, sometimes they are not really concrete. We made the same content in it too much, and so it's not really strong. And then concrete homes, they get heated so much. Deck bricks don't get heated that much because I'm told that because you have hole within the bricks, the concrete brick, it track heat in the day, in the night it releases the heat, and then you see the whole house, you get sweating. But if you have a brick, deck bricks house, sometimes it's cooled. In fact, I saw some of those in the villages.
The example that is a mud house in the village.
Yeah, it's
always cold.
It's always cool, right? So this is an opportunity, and I'm announcing here as a director of the EPA, this is a business opportunity. We need innovators to go into molding deck bricks. Maybe not the way that the traditionally is done because it takes a lot of time. It takes maybe few days to get dry and the rest of it. There are a lot of examples where people mold bricks and on the same day, and sometimes they are compared. There are machines. I've been coming across the machines on social media in terms of how you compare the bricks, different form. Sometimes they are even interlocking bricks, wherein the bricks actually brick to brick, no cement, nothing in it.
Mhm.
And you get beauty like that.
Mhm.
And it's guaranteed. So there's an innovation we have in Liberia for young people. I want them to get involved in it. If you are involved in it already and making some headway in that, contact the EPA and see how best we can be able to promote your work. Because we want to reduce the pressure on sand. If we can reduce our construction, if we can reduce the pressure on sand, that will also reduce the pressure on cement, right?
Yeah.
Cement is one of the biggest emitter of greenhouse gas in the world, and so we are trying to go green with our economy. We want to use less of a cement. We also want to use less of sand because again, the demand on sand is hard, and then we're destroying our rivers, and in most places we don't even have sand at all. So the middle ground, which is good and cheaper, is to go with deck bricks. We can modernize it. In many other countries, a lot of the countries in the Sahara, in the desert, in East Africa, and many other areas, that deck brick to use. So it is now time to be able to reduce the pressure on the number of sand that will consume. So that's one of the innovative areas and the point of job creation
Mhm.
in terms of young Liberia who are listening. I don't think it would be too expensive to start. I think it's very affordable to start.
And the thing
After
about it,
all
the
the
dike
deck-
is available.
Yeah, the deck, right?
You're not going to buy.
You get need a hill, then you start knocking that
Yes,
hill
the
down.
Pogaba
making it
hill,
work.
and
Yeah, that's
you
what-
just go ahead.
Exactly, that's what you need. That's what you need, right? So that's a very important area that innovators and young people who are looking for a way to do business. I think it's an opportunity, and when you get involved in it and get us know, we can help to promote your work. In terms of encouraging the Liberians to be able to do that.
As you discuss and move on, that one of the places you've mentioned time without number is the Sinker Belt, the side that borders the Atlantic Ocean. It seems, I mean, this threat to that part of the city is becoming alarming, evidenced by your usual, conversation on that. What action are we taking? Is it part of our plan to do some coastal
It is
defense
part
or
of
so?
our plan. It's a very, very expensive venture whenever you're doing coastal defense, especially high, what we call a high coastal
High.
defense, in terms of you building revetments, you gotta get a lot of rocks. Those rocks gotta be interlocked in a way that it can be washed away, it can be undermined. That's what we're doing with West Point. West Point project is on course. The one we're doing in Sino is on course. Right now, we are looking for money in terms of doing maybe all or maybe part of it as the resources might be available in terms of behind the JFK all the way to Banans Beach area.
Mhm.
That entire area is aligning what is happening there as well. So right now, there are some proposals that we developed on upcoming finance. So we are currently developing. I won't just call those on the radio because our hand not quite on it yet. And so we want to get to a point where if we say this is what we're doing, it means that we have it. A lot of people apply for the funding. But to answer your question, we are doing something about it, but it's always a very expensive stuff, and we're looking for extended support. And currently, there are some proposals that are developed to do some work along the Sinker Belt.
Two major other things we talk about, I mean, as the program go on, are the issue with the MNG. I mean, that company has accepted your report. The community is still in disbelief. And then recently you've embarked on massive shutdown of water factories across Monrovia. We'll talk about that. But you've taken some innovation to the EP. The first we saw from out of what you're doing, out of the technical work, you brought about a chorus. On Armed Forces Day, we saw the man dressing total green, and I saw you in your red, white, and blue taking picture with the guys. I thought that was total innovation.
Yes, so that's part of the leadership. Part of the leadership is to inspire. We were very, very, very intentional. Last year, when I sat down in that particular program and saw the military, I always admired the military. When I saw it, I made up my mind. I said I will try. If it is possible, by next year, our inspectors should be here. And then we had a meeting with them. We had a training with the inspectors across the country in Nima. We discussed it with them. They were very happy. They bought the idea and even selected the uniform they want to use in order that. And then we started the preparation. We are very grateful to the Minister of Defense, the Chief of Staff of the Armed Forces of Liberia. I have to write down a letter and justify why EPA should participate, and they have to honor that letter and give their consent for this to happen. Interagency collaboration, and then they came up with a training. We have to get them across the country. They were in town for a week and a half, almost 2 weeks. They have to come and go to the Kankesali Battery, where they were being trained in terms of military operation, in terms of drilling, respect, command structure. That was very good, and it was intentional. The intention was also to bring them together. They are quite divided. Somebody coming from Maryland, somebody coming from in terms of Lofa, somebody from Bomb. This was a period for them to connect in much more serious way, and they did connect. So at the end, we got in the lodging. They had to sleep to the same environment the eve of the 11th, so that they could all get up early in the morning and be there 5:30 to form the line. And then after that, we went to the EPA. We had some food for them, and then I asked for their feedback. There's the overwhelming support, happy. We learned a lot. This was good. We interacted with the military to just get a taste of what to do. There's a lot of discipline. It was good, and we are very happy that it happened. And of course, it is a collective effort, right? This is the senior management team of the EPA having discussion, agreeing on what to do. The vision is there, how to support that vision. And the young men together in town, it costs some money. To get a uniform costs some money, and the rest of it. And having the deputies and the senior management team that meet every week, discuss about the progress of the EPA, look at the finances of the EPA, look at weekly financial report. These are the people, men and women, in our room, just making sure that a vision is realized. So this will owe it to them as well. And then, of course, the chief executive of the country, Excellency Joseph Boakai, who himself, very encouraging in terms of this process, informing about the step by step. Always saying, go ahead and do the work. You have our support.
When last did you see him?
Yeah. Oh no, yeah. I met him twice during the break.
Okay.
We met once at your house, and then I went to the farm, and at the farm we had a very long discussion. We talked about the EPA. He gave the EPA cow for Christmas celebration. And I want to go thank him for the cow. We did a book, The Natural Capital Atlas of Liberia, gave him a series of copies. He loves the books in terms of the way they are structured. And we discussed many things and gave him a lot more information. So again, this is a collective effort, and that's the result you saw with our men and women marching, very proud. They all gone back now. They started living.
Yeah, they've gone back to their
started living, and they are excited, going back and energized.
Yeah.
And they told me what you and your senior management team is doing for us. We will prove to you that we can be able to work and save the environment.
How do you do further encouragement? Instead of just bringing them here, I know there's low manpower. There's a need to add them up so that the visibility is there, so people know the EPA presence, the inspectors are everywhere, and when you're damaging the environment, they will come after you. What extra mile is your management going to, first of all, increase the manpower, make the job attractive so that people can want to go?
So the job is becoming attractive every day. There's a bit of incentive there. Senior management team is augmenting them. Senior management team had done the classification system within the EPA. So positions are built on grade level, so salaries commensurate with the grade levels as well as qualification. So the executive director does not have discretionary power to just say, oh, no, you bring the other person, get a person at this other salary, that, no, not like that. Everything is structurally done. They like that in terms of that aspect of it, but they are also aware that there's autonomy to their work. We send them in the field to work. It's like a general sending your soldiers in the field. You can send them and hire yourself. So, for instance, EPA workers will not be in the field, and a senior manager or the executive directors or his deputies call them and say, step down. You know what I mean? To say they are actively carrying on enforcement, and somebody say, oh, you leave that other place. No, they are aware that that cannot happen. They have to enforce it, and they are enforcing the law without fear and favor. And any high level question that comes from there, say, send it over to us. We will speak. When you come to a point where you're not able, send it to us. We would deal with that. And as long as you are implementing the law according to what should be done, you have no fear or favor. You are clearly protected. I think that type of accountability and motivation is pushing them, and we see growth within the institution, and that is why I need it. Manpower development, we have planned to increase the manpower this year, and resources will allow us. So there will be quite a number of inspectors that will come online in terms of new inspectors to be able to support the existing ones we have right now.
Okay, great. Your page, when I say your page, the EPA have been going live from different locations in Monrovia, in Painesville, about closure or shutting down of some water factories. Why are you doing that?
Well, I think this is important. The EPA, the Environmental Management Law, clearly call for protection of the environment. There's a whole section that deals with water quality management in terms of the law. So we are enforcing that. Our role is to test the raw water. The raw water, where your well is, what the surroundings of that place, the place you're getting the water from, where the distance to the nearest septic tank, that the raw water area, how many iron content within the water, how many mineral content within that water, is very important, because if we get to know that, then of course we can recommend in terms of the filtration equipment you need. There are different types, so that your end product water will be much more good, which eventually the Wash Commission or Enfield, they will test that portion. They deal with finished water to say it's fit for drinking.
Yeah.
We deal with the environment where the water is coming from. That's what we deal with. And then the water is supposed to be tested once a year. Even we tested it from the beginning you started, and then every year, once we test that raw water and see the environment where the water is produced from, is extremely important in terms of public health. But also we look at the entire environment where you're producing the water, how clean that area is, right? In terms of what's supposed to be done and what's not supposed to be done. Because our certificate has a set of criteria that are on the certificate that you need to fulfill in terms of saving the public. Normally, there have been some confusion in terms of water companies. They come to us and say, we have for a certificate, the Enfield tested our water, the National Public Health Institute tested our water, so then that's a result. Well, the Enfield is a very professional institution, deal with public health, deal with surveillance of diseases. We respect the work they do. But our processes are different. As a regulator, we don't go, just relying on another government entity, in terms of their results. Accountability come about when you work with the private sector, you create jobs in the private sector, and then you regulate the private sector. International best practice call for not you, the regulator, doing the test. If not, we may have the most sophisticated testing facility in Liberia right now, even when it comes to water quality, right? But when we do tests, it will be compliance. It will go randomly, right? So water companies are to go to a third-party certified laboratories that do water quality testing. There are a number of companies that have been tested and verified and satisfied by the EPA to test water. Those are the ones. So if you're a water company, say for the first time you apply to the EPA, you want to do water, the EPA will send a list of those companies, those laboratories to you. You choose one. They have been taught and trained as to how to do these things, and they are the private sector. They will go and test and then send the parameter to the EPA within certain limit. And then based upon that now, the EPA can go ahead and work with you and issue your permit. For instance, if, say, water company A went to private laboratory B, and then got a quality testing from there, that laboratory is responsible. If something wrong with that water leader, we can hold them hard.
Really, the EPA can hold the private laboratory?
Yes. Very, very hard. Because they're not supposed to give false statements. You know, they are regulated. So they work under the framework of a regulation. Certain criteria they have to fulfill.
But should they do it in consultation with the EPA, that is the government's arm responsible?
So we satisfy them first. They
you satisfy them?
They have to apply for accreditation.
Okay.
All laboratories need to apply for accreditation. And they have to go through certain criteria to be able to satisfy them that they can be able to do the kind of test that they say they can do.
That's good.
And they operate under those regulations. And so they take it very seriously. That's the reason why it's important. When we EPA go on the field to do testing, it's random tests. It's just to make sure, right, what is happening. So that's really what the process is. And our focus is not finished product. Our focus is on the raw water quality testing, which is done once per year, right? So what we noticed is that quite recently when we did some random testing around, visiting water companies and seeing area to produce the water, we knew that just a lot of them did not have EPA permit at all.
Wow.
And a lot of them
That's
don't
terrible.
have EPA permit. And a lot of them, their places are very filthy. A lot of those areas, are constructed near certain thing. And some of the areas are getting the water from the swamp, all kinds of things. So then we made a decision to go after them and bring them into compliance. So that's why you saw it. We almost 2 weeks, we were non-stop. We closed a number of water companies down.
What do you do next?
Well, we put in a system so that those who complied, we verify their processes and they are accredited, they're open, right? So some of those, their water were clean. The only thing that they didn't have the permit, the places they're producing is clean. And then they quickly went to a third party and got a raw water quality test. It fall within the range, acceptable range.
Okay.
And then we open them, basically.
Do
And
they
then
have to pay anything for not getting permit? That's a violation by itself.
Yes, the auto, but they can say Rome was never built in a day, right? Also, this EPO running today, I think, for all fairness, it just over the last 1.5, 2 years that people have already known the EPA in terms of the kind of work that it does. So a lot of people have not been aware. So this type of massive kind of enforcement we've been doing and we are still doing is to create awareness. All right. So for instance, if at all we close your company down because you now have EPA permit, and then you got the permit through and everything. So instead of just finding you right now, we allow that to go. Next time you don't have reason to say that I'm not aware of this. Next time. So next time you do it now, that's when you get a fine, right? So right now he has been really trying to get into compliance, but compliance is just one thing. It's really we've been concerned about the public health. Water is a big thing. Water is really a big thing. And if we make mistake with water, we can be able to drive our whole population down. If we make any mistake with water, because it affects a lot of people and all of us, it will affect us. So for that reason, so the safety of the population has been our concern. So that's why we've been doing. They have been very, very successful. I know that the WASH Commission has some concern, which is a good concern in terms of quarter meeting, and we attended the meeting. It was a very good meeting. That the enforcement is good, But it seemed to be, and some water people, water owners also came to my office. There are a lot of government agencies that are interfering with our work in terms of the fees are hard. We are smaller Liberian companies and the rest of it. So right now, we are working with the White Commission to conduct a study on the various regulations that are affecting the water sector. How many people are going to them? What the frequency in a year? And how much are they paying to each of the institutions? So the Watch Commission is leading that research. This is their area in terms of water management. So they're leading that research for us to drive down to the actual cost that in terms of regulatory activities are affecting these companies, but also try to find out about the companies what their profit margin.
Yeah.
So that if they are
Do
only
you know how to?
yes,
about?
if they are only burdensome, then we, along with the Watch Commission, can lead the process in terms of how we can structure it in a way that they are not overly burdensome. For the EPA, though, we done quite well. For ours, they're supposed to be conducting environmental impact assessment. But Trokon, as you have followed the work of the EPA, that document is much more detailed. And it's a very, very sophisticated document. They needed to go to environmental evaluators to do their work for them. It will normally cost them maybe 3,000, 2,005, which is significantly high. So what we did with the EPA in terms of how do we make our processes easy for small businesses was to get a stakeholder engagement where we develop a regulation, in terms of this process I get explained. Go to a third-party laboratories. They will charge us some money. Normally, they will not be too hard. Some area I'm to $200, some area I'm to $250. They will do your water quality, and then they will send a result, and we'll verify that. We just go verify that everything is okay. We'll issue your permit. You stay fall within,
In the confines.
Yeah, in the confines of the law. So we're not like driving them in the way that would drive the bigger company to 4 years IA, right? So we have done that so that to limit the burden on them, but then for them to still be in compliance, right? But yet the other agencies are involved there, but the Watch Commission is leading that process, and at some point I think the Watch Commission will be speaking on that as well in terms of how the process will go with the water. But if you are a water producing company, you don't have an EPA permit, we're asking you, is required by law. The process is very easy. Please come to the EPA. Please apply to the EPA. We normally expedite it. You go really, really fast. You write and describe your processes. We'll write back. Those laboratory will send their name. Pick up one of them. They will do the test. Then EPA inspectors from our research department, they will visit your site. They will do physical parameters. They will check, and they will advise you. This, yeah. This is what you should do. This is what you should do. Or your water has a lot more iron content, so you need to install this machine. So when your water passes through this, it will limit the iron content. All those. So it set you up. It set you up for your water to be safe, so that anytime NFIL come and test your water, you don't have problem.
How long do you go with the data? I'm asking because there are a lot of companies across the country, and not just Monserrat alone. You got Grand Bassa, you got Bong, you got Nimba, and all the other counties in the southeast and the western region of the country. I mean, some other water production or diseases could just be killing people slowly because certain things are not being done.
Yes, and those are the challenges we face, right? So that's why we started talking about capacity. Our capacity is not quite there to cover the entire country, but in the counties now, for last year, we made sure that each county has at least 2 environmental inspectors. Some counties have also environmental awareness officers. So they are trying their best now. And so the next phase is to increase their number, but the next phase also is to have regional laboratories. We are looking for funding. If we can get some of the things we need to get, we want to have a regional laboratories in places like Bong County. In some of the coastal counties, we'll have EPA offices along with mini laboratories, and then we'll be able to test the waters and rapidly, and we'll be able to move things faster in terms of where we'll carry it on. But there are still some challenges with those, but those that we can get to, we are getting to them all the time, and we'll not rest. By the end of this year, we can recruit the number of inspectors, but next year will be somewhere really good.
Great. If you're just joining us, a kind reminder, you're listening to the conversation on OKFM 99.5. Dr. Emmanuel Yure Yakbawolo is the executive director of the Environmental Protection Agency. We thought to place spotlight on the environment on today. Our last conversation before taking calls, that will be in the Bond Mines area. Is it Bond Mines?
The
The
MNG
MNG Go area. There is this information about the spillage. I know you've conducted some assessment and released a report. It seems the company agree with your report. The community hasn't. I have a press statement here that sent me last weekend. Give us, a history of what's happened there that prompted your investigation.
So this is very important, and I want all of the listeners to please pay attention to this because it's important. When we took over the EPA, we done a number of reforms. One of those reforms we done is how to handle chemical within the country. So we established EPA office at the port of Monrovia. We recruited and trained 20 young people. We call them chemical handlers. These chemical handlers, their responsibility is to deliver chemical to their final destination from the port of origin. For instance, from the seaport, when the chemical is there, the EPA will have to get clearance for that chemical to leave. These chemical handlers will escort the chemical all the way to the final destination. Normally, they will be in separate vehicles. Sometimes some of the vehicles will be in front of the truck that has the chemical. Sometimes it will be at the back of it and it has the chemical. And make sure that they are safely transported until they reach the final destination. Okay, in case if anything happened along the way, in this case, like what happened in Monisweet, near Monisweet town, they were able to intervene properly because they are trained and know exactly what to do with chemicals. Chemicals are really bad. This is what happened. Most of the time, the trucks, we advise them to travel in the night because at night the road is less crowded. In most instances, companies that are using the chemical themselves don't really transport those chemicals. A third party company specializing in transporting hazardous goods such as chemicals are the ones that are certified by the EPA to transport those chemicals. Again, they work on a regulation. So the company that will carry this particular hydrochloric acid is called Everett. Everett Company is an EPA certified hazardous goods transporter company. On the 17th of January, 3 trucks departed Monrovia with 2 EPA chemical handlers to escort them. There were 3 trucks belonging to Everett. In the total area, one of those trucks has some bearing problem, so it stayed behind for repair. One of the chemical handlers stayed with that one.
Okay.
The other 2 trucks, the chemical handlers escorted those 2 trucks, and at some point it was late. I get to spend the night somewhere around Banga. In the morning, they pick up to go to MNG Gold. MNG Gold is operating in Bond County in the Davis Deanston area. They're the one who carrying this hydrochloric acid. The way the containers are structured, series of containers on the flat base trailer. Each of those containers holding like 40-liter hydrochloric acid HCl. So I think by 8 or 9, around that time, they passed through the village in Bond County called Monisweet Town. And in that village, I think from the edge of the village to the area the incident took place about 130, 135 meters, so away from the town. They noticed that the trailer, the tires had caught a fire, and so the fire was burning. And so the driver parked on the right side of the road and then tried to cut that fire off. In the process, the heat melted one of those hydrochloric acid container at the upper part, and it started leaking slowly. Beer Mountain was not Beer Mountain, but MMG Go was notified, and then they came on the scene because the place was not too far now from.
Who did notify them?
The EPA.
The EPA handler.
Yes.
Okay.
They notified them what was happening, and they sent their environmental group there to help with the situation. And then they came, and then they were able to cut the fire off. And so some of the chemicals spilled on the ground and rolled down through a raw farm.
In the Monisweet area, Monisweet town area.
Away from the Monisweet, about 130, around 133 meters away from the town, because we measure it.
Okay.
So not in the town.
Okay.
You pass the town, you go a little bit distant from the town. There where it happened. And so, there are quite a number of procedures that the EPA developed that when this type of thing happen, what to do so as to minimize the impact of that type of situation on the people and on the environment. One of the matter is when it's happening, when there's a spill like that, you don't want that spill to keep rolling all on the ground. So dig hole, right?
So it dumps.
It dumps in it so that it doesn't spread, so you can continue within that hole, right? So it can be spreading also the top of the hole.
You did that?
No.
The team that came.
The team. And so the chemical was really in there. Then after that, one of the methods we have is where after you take an emergency by cutting the fire and the rest of it, excavate that land. The area that is contaminated, the land that is contaminated.
The particular place where the chemical rolls.
Exactly. You have to excavate. You got to take out that whole land.
I'm going to plow in the soil.
Yeah, you got to plow and take that whole soil, all that contaminated soil. You have to take it.
Really?
And then when you take it, where do you carry it? Well, like in this case, this is MNG Gold. It's their property. It's their dirt. So they will go and store it somewhere within their compound, but on the auspices of the EPA. So in this case, the EPA followed them, and the 3 different trucks they dug from that hole and through the raw found where it rolled. They went and dumped those 3 trucks, and EPA, to ensure that it is actually the dirt, EPA officers take picture.
Okay.
Not only that, they take GPS coordinates of that particular point where the contaminated dirt is. The reason why is that we will guard them. They will also have to hire a third-party company that specializes in dealing with hazardous waste.
Yeah.
The company will have to hire them under the auspices of the EPA to make sure that dirt is disposed of safely, is treated and disposed of safely. The reason why is you don't want to leave it with a company. Suppose the company go get overnight and
just
get through it anywhere or throw in the water, right? So it's a whole set of procedure. When that happened, in this case, hydrochloric acid, there's another kind of less material called lime. So they are to put a lime into the area they excavated so that when there's any trace of chemical that left there, it's neutralized immediately by the lime. This happened, all the processes that happened that I just explained, it happened. So MNG go excavated the land, they escorted it, EPA inspectors were there, they had community mobilization, they told the community where the dirt was going. This time it was now late and rainy, and the community said they were going to go and see where the dirt was in the morning. As they were going there, somebody called them according to the story, and then they said they're not going again, so they didn't go. Right? They didn't go. And so this was a procedure that we put in place, and the procedures were followed. Exactly. So we say approximately 40 liters of hydrochloric acid. We're just saying that because the container that you were looking for itself, if it is full, is about 40 liters. But the container did not burst from the bottom. It burst from the top. And so when you were leaking, and when it passed the area, the whole thing is stopped. So very, very less chemical waste. But we get assumed that we're putting all the mechanisms in place that the 40 liter, leak. We just put all the safety.
In the face of all of this, the community is still agitating. Let me kind of read out the statement so the EPA can respond to it. Just give
maybe I'll just finish the whole story.
All right, yes. I thought you had done.
No,
let me give you some time.
So then we put out a statement and say that a spill occurred, and there was intervention, and it does not have any significant impact on the environment and the people. Then we saw all this social media. There was picture of people in hospital and the rest of it. People burned, people die in their water and contaminated. They're not drinking the water anymore. There was a lot of story that came. Their farm crops die and the rest of it. So when those were coming up, then I decided I'm going to check myself. Remember, this is a report I got from my team. Mm-hmm. My team is really trusted and trustworthy. My team, this scientific stuff, they know they're not going to play with it. And they know even if they play with it, I too, as somebody who is a science student, a kind of really in my study in the intersection of policy and science, so I know what they're talking about. So I decided, Since the public outcry that say that people got affected, and the report you sent me, it does not prove that, I'm going to go there and investigate myself. I say I'll go there and investigate. So I went there on the 7th, on Saturday of February. So I went there. And when I was going, I took many journalists with me from Pond County. Journalists from Sugar Bungies, journalists from Radio journalists from different, including from Page Africa reported there, and also the United Bond County Association, because they kept writing me as well.
Our correspondent there was a part of that.
Exactly. The entire, and so we went there that day. There was a barrier, and so we gave cola and the rest of the barrier. We did our part, and then we asked them to send 3 representatives with us. They said they wanted to make it 5. I said, okay, yes. In fact, the more it better. They were with us. We tested the soil. So what we did was we dug the hole, both in the contaminated area, but also down to ensure that if that area is contaminated, right? And so we did that, and they walked me 135 or so meters away where we saw something like a wetland, because I saw bamboo, rafra, it was pretty dry, but it's a dry season. In water can be there during rainy season. And so we measured all of that, and we done some of the tests before them, and we took the bottom test result, the one that are sophisticated, that need to be done in our lab, just to know the level of contamination within the soil. And then there was this question about the rubber farm that this is a dry season. This is a season which the rubber leaves fall.
Yeah, sure.
So
for some of us who grew our own plantation,
many of the raw leaves
here will fall.
But here's the story: the rubber owner, who is Mr. Monisui himself, who the father or grandfather built a time, so the time is named after him. His name is Monisui. He has the rubber farm. Mr. Monisui was with us throughout. So the chemicals spill down here on a hill, and there are fresh rubber trees right to where the chemicals start, and they all have good leaves. Then you point to me uphill, rather than loose leaf, an old rubber tree. You tell me that the chemical is the one that killed that. And I said, if the chemical killed that, what moves about all these trees that are so close here? Why are they so fresh? No answer about it. And then somebody said, it might have been the air. The chemical is in the air. I said, the chemical does not move in the air the way you're thinking about it. That's why it doesn't do that. However, if the chemical is moving in the air,
why it fell on one tree?
Yeah, one of the rubber tree is not brushed. So the straw, all the leaves, they are all there, really fresh. I said, it's going to be bypassing all the leaves and only attacking the rubber trees? It's not possible. There was this story that the company did nothing for us. Only gave a few sack of water. We don't know where to put the dirt. Okay, let us go now so you can go see the dirt. The community members went for photo memory. You
took them there?
Yes, I took them there. Okay. I had a meeting with them in the presence of the company. In the presence of the company, I even pushed the company harder. Apart from the investigation I was conducting, I charged the company that even the road we're driving on, when you enter their facility, the roads are good. The rest of the one we're driving on is not good. So it seems to be their social corporate responsibility in that area is poor, and things like this can be able to escalate, right? Based on the anger of the people, right? But Bear Mountain, MMG go explain their intervention, the rights they gave, the carton, the fish. So the ministry men with icing will say, but you said that only a few. In there, he said, I'm sorry. No, they actually did all that they explained. Then we took them to the day. I said, Mr. Monisui, you know the day. You were even there when they were excavating that day. And this one here, get from the physical appearance. Because people have had doubt, what are the day actually here? What are they done with somewhere? Is it the day? He said, yes, that's the day. And all of them said it was a deck that was excavated. Well, that's not only there. We also took sample of that day to test it, to make sure it corresponds with the one that we took in the area, to make sure it was not different there also. We did all that. Here comes the hand pump. The hand pump is up the hill, really, really far. In fact, from the site to the hand pump, you got to go in the town and take different road to get to the hand pump. That point is not close at all.
Aside from where the chemicals...
Yes. You have to walk back in the town and actually take, because there's a big bush between that area that got affected, the chemical spills, and the hand pump. You can't penetrate through that. The hand pump is up on top of the hillside. So we went to the hand pump, and I told them, I said, this chemical is impossible. It can't climb hill. In fact, the one that got wasted, we got removed with the time. It's not there anymore. So it's not here. However, you see that you're getting diarrhea, you're not drinking the water. So what we'll do is we'll test the water. We get to test the water to see, we are here too as EPA, so this is public health concern. And we took sample of the water. Well, so we brought it to the lab. The lab result came back. The old direct that we excavated, you can't find that chemical, that we took. We dug almost a meter to get it. The other sample, you can't find trace of the chemical in it. So that means the chemical did not spray because it was taken. It did not spray. So the whole result, 100%, you can't find it. In the water testing, you can't find one trace of that chemical in the water. But what we did find in the water was a lot of bacteria. The water is heavily infested with bacteria. In fact, if for any reason the hydrochloric acid were to reach to the well, it more likely would have killed the bacteria anyway, because it's very deadly in terms of the way that chemical operates and is a highly concentrated.
You mean the hand pump they were drinking from?
Yes, if the chemical had reached there, bacteria would not be there because it would have killed the bacteria. It's a hydrochloric, it's a chlorine. It's a high another concentrated form of chlorine. You understand? And we use chlorine to clean water. So we told them, don't drink the water because it's heavily infested with bacteria. But the hydrochloric acid HCl is not here, and that's true. And so in our lab, anytime we do the investigation, we have the component kept. So the soil sample is kept, the water sample is kept because the community could challenge us and say they want third-party investigation.
Yeah.
Or if in this case it was against MMG, they could challenge us and say they want third-party investigation. Any third party can go and do investigation and we keep our sample, right, to prove. So in all fairness, this chemical did not spray the way they're talking about. Then they say, oh, the air, why are you testing the air? So we can't test the air. The chemical hydrochloric acid and hydrogen and chlorine is very heavy. The molecules is very heavy. It doesn't travel far. Even if you were to spill, it will fall on the ground very easily. It's not something that will going to go far and wide. When the chemical is burning, it did not burn, but in case it was burning or the one that was spilling, it will only affect people who come very close and inhale it. If you inhale it, of course, it's going to cause some cough and things like that. But to say that it went in the town, the town chief is telling us, see my mouth, how my mouth burn, show us some burn area on my hand burn like this. I said the chemical wasted on you? No, I went close. No, the chemical will only burn you when you actually touch your skin. It will not travel from over there all the way in the town and can be destroying your skin. And so it's not possible. It's not possible. So then I told them, I wrote the community, I explained the report to them to say we understand what your angers are. Indeed, you've been here for some times, you see your roads are bad, community been operating here, only one hand point you have in the town that is infested, all these things can build up anger. We have found company in other areas. We are held them accountable. This is my home. You are my people. Why would I come and try to back a company against my own people when even other areas that I know nobody? Company had done wrong there and I have punished the company, held them accountable. But the superintendent gave me a letter, the community claiming like $1 million from the company. They're claiming this one, they're claiming that one, they're claiming many things. And the EPA should go conduct a study and then back what is saying in their head, it happened to them. We should go say, oh, yeah, that's true. MMG responsible, EPA cannot lie. And that's the truth. So we can't lie. Our work is very scientific. Any place the science lead us, there where we'll go. However, we're not overlooking what they said. Since they said about 140 persons sought medical attention.
And they said that's the portion I wonder.
So we have written the Minister of Health to say that one, the people said they got really affected, even though our study does not really show anything. But we don't deal with diseases like you do as a Minister of Health. So when the Minister of Health to get involved, conduct further study, to the clinic, the people who got there, what kind of diseases they got, what they have any linkage to the HCL. So we're asking the Ministry of Health to do
And
that.
clinic is
but
called
also,
the Mano Winsu.
yeah. We visited the clinic. We met nobody at the clinic. But also to say something serious is there. Their water is heavily infested. We have told them not to drink the water. So there's drinking water crisis within our community.
I wonder
so the
the
health
environment
ministry,
why you told
so
them.
the health ministry need to get involved with it as soon as possible to make sure. And similarly, say Minister of Agriculture, please get involved with it because they are alleging their crops got damaged. From all indication, we don't see that possible. But you're responsible for plant diseases and the rest of it. You having expertise in that area. So please help us also go check there to see what are the factors that we miss because we're very sure of what we done. So that's how far these things are. And we just want to emphasize that yes, it's the truth and nothing but the truth, and EPA has to stand by the truth.
Great, let's take a few calls here on OKFM 99.5. Dr. Emmanuel Yuri Yakpawolo, my guest here today. He's from the EPA, the Environmental Protection Agency. He's the executive director there. Let's talk to a few Liberians. Hello?
Good evening, Trokon.
Yes, sir. Welcome. Let's hear you.
Thank you. My name is Prince Smo Fatima, and I drive in a Gandhi Intellectual Center. Well, let me say good evening to your studio guest, Dr. Emmanuel Jagbaure. I think he spoke well. But for me, my disappointment with the EPA is the issue of the water testing. I think we have the National Public Health Institute, the Division of Environmental Occupational Health, that squarely have the responsibility to test water. They got water quality control lab at the National Public Health Institute. But the Environmental Protection Agency charge people $250 for testing fee of water. And there are so many people who try to complain, and the EPA has done nothing.
Did you hear that the EPA said there were institutions, sorry that you're gone, but they said there are institutions satisfied their third party that are doing the charging and the testing, and not the EPA. Well, Dr. Euro will respond to that. Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, welcome.
Yeah, I'm Arvin Johnson calling from Dupo Road, the chairperson for the Concerned Librarian for Justice. I'm actually disappointed with the way the director speaking because if you go to defend your citizen, instead of you be fighting for the people, but you
he has not gone to defend the citizen. He is going to do some scientific tests.
He's going to do some work, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he does work and the citizen complaining. That company can have to operate, although we're not scaring company to leave. But when the people complain, the company should be held responsible.
No, but wait, brother. Why if you want to do some scientific checking, and the science prove that what your people are saying is not the truth, what will you do? You will stay impressed on the company to do something?
God, that would be fair. How will you conclude like that? Because I listen to the
but that's science now. They put that in our politics. They're doing that science. They test it in the result game.
That's God and a citizen speaking that they get effect clear. The people they will always go take money and then start to defend companies.
So everything the EPA told you, what is our law that they defended a company?
They may keep defending the company how the chemical don't go up the hill.
But the chemical can clean you. Hello?
Yeah, good evening, Trokon.
Let's hear you, please.
Yeah, I'm Prince Samanyuma calling from Sender.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think I listened to the EPA boss. He did so much well. We have to be careful. These are technical issues, and these are issues that when we are solving them, we have to. And I think he took his own time, and he explained everything to the code that the layman will understand.
Mm-hmm.
They kind of, I think the only point is like they are asking how the EPA boss saying they are asking for an independent, probably forensic case and what that would be okay. But it's not that because those investors are here And then every crowd from the community, people should think that EPA should go and back the citizen, just because they are all people. I think we'll not be doing justice to the investor. So we have to be careful as the EPA is doing. They carry out the investigation, the test, and this is science. It's not something that we can get. They use their method, scientific method to do their testing and what have you. We should give the EPA the opportunity to do the work. And also, if an independent body can go and do the investigation, that would be good for us. So thank you very much.
Thank you, so kindly. Another person. Hello.
Hello, Trokon. Good afternoon.
Hello, let's hear you. Welcome. Thanks.
Good afternoon. I want to say thank you for your explanation and the effort applied so much to safeguard our people's health and protect them from further disease. Our people in this country, they sit down there when they think and feel how they think or how they see things, how it works. How will you say the companies just give people money because a chemical spread without scientific evidence? They have the evidence telling this scientific evidence, the testing, and he will even show
no, because the EPA boss is from Bon County, so when he go there, yes, allowing the company to say, I think the company does.
The company just take money and give to people. This is not how
but the company said will challenge the report. Then it makes the institution not credible again.
Yeah, Trokon, this is not how a modern country should be functioning. Everything is politics, nothing is scientific, nothing is medical. When it's scientific speaking, one may take the phone and call. Who cannot even understand common and have to stand and argue it. This is too unfair in our country. Thank you and keep doing good work for our country. Have a good day.
That's democracy. Hello.
So thank you. This is for us of Prince Kolake. I'm from District 5. Let me say thank you.
Let's hear you, Golake.
Yeah, the EPA boss. I started attentively listening to him, breaking all of those things down segment by segment. My only disappointment is after they have noticed through scientific method, through their observation, they have noticed that the water is affected. I expected him to say, up to currently, we are digging borehole there for the people, because now you already told the people not to drink the water. What's the next alternative? So yes, I think they need to look into that direction. If even the company company can have a borehole there, but they, from the EPA angle, at least let them do it. Let them have 2-3 pumps.
I hope the EPA get that kind of extra covers to take money from. Thank you. Let's talk to the very last person. Then we go back to Dr. Yakpawolo. Hello. Yeah, let's hear you. Where are you? We're not hearing you. I mean, you got to get them from Akagab. Hello?
Trokon.
Yeah?
Good evening.
Yeah, let's hear you.
Thank you. This is William Coven, National Institution from the City.
Yes,
as a member of the United Party Intellectual Bureau. Well, let me say thanks to Dr. Yuri Yakpawolo, and I much appreciate him for the clarity on the platform. And at least the EPA did their work by going to do the testing of the soil and were able to tell the people. But I think the only place where the people finding it difficult to agree with the EPA, where the EPA told the people that the water is contaminated with bacteria. So you should not drink that water, is where probably the people say, but I think there's something that the EPA is adding, that this chemical may have affected this water, but they don't want to tell us, and they have to bring bacteria business, because probably they think that they've been drinking that water for years, over years, and nothing has happened with them.
And probably it may have been killed in them slowly, and they don't know that they're dying from it.
But they never knew. But since the EPA has done the testing of that water and formed that bacteria, it's acting in my mind, because dealing with people on our side, I'm not denigrating them, they are not up to the standard, but dealing with them, you got to take down that water issue. You should just leave it, come to town and call the record authority. I don't call the water and see us to go and do testing or whatsoever, record authority go and find solution for them.
Thank you. Let's hold you there. Let's come back to you, Dr. Yakpawolo. We got 4 minutes.
Well, thank you. In terms of the caller with EPA versus Enfield does finishing water testing. EPA does raw water testing once per year. We are told Enfield does that quarterly. We do it once a year, and third-party laboratories are satisfied to do that. They do charge company to pay. For their certificate at the EPA, they do pay $225 to the EPA for their processes, and that's the fight. The other person, oh, EPA took money from the people. This is the baby argument. I think we're above that. We don't take money from anybody. We are credible people, and so we don't do that. We don't take money from anybody for anything, for that matter. In terms of the digging of the borehole, I wish we had a means to do it, but our hands are tied. We're not really able to provide our service right now in terms of going there to dig. That's why the Ministry of Health is responsible for the welfare of the people in terms of this type of situation. The water has a lot of bacteria in it, tying to that last question. In fact, they have stopped drinking the water before we got there because they said they're not drinking the water because it's infested with the chemical. So they themselves took decision not to drink the water. We only tested the water, and because we noticed the bacterial content is high, we told them don't drink it as you have already decided. And that's why we're calling the health authority, both in Bond County and Central Monrovia, to make sure that to go there and intervene because we are not able to do that. I think those are just the few comments that came up. Other people are pretty much commendation. They understand the science. They trust what we're doing. We thank them. Those who doubt what we're doing, we also encourage them to get follow the science. That the EPA need to be credible for it to stay relevant. At any point, the EPA is not credible, it will fall, and the country will be affected greatly. And so that integrity has to be there. What we do is science, and science is what we do. And what the science say, it can be challenged. We said the water testing, the soil testing, they are kept. They are kept for further analysis, and they can be challenged. So one can go back there and take soil sample, analyze, get different result, come back, let's do it together. So what we've done, it can be proven by any lab in the entire world, not just our lab. Any lab in the world can be able to prove what we've done with very 100% confidence of that. We don't have any doubt. I think those are just it. We spend a lot of time on Money Suite, but we just want to tell our people that they are our people. All Liberians are our people, and we are here to protect them. But we only do it based on what the science say. We'll not do anything. We can't be moved by sentiment. We can't be moved by politics. Nothing. We just got to do what is right in terms of that. And for the closing, we wanted to say thank you. Thank you for this time. We hope to come back here again another time, continue to provide education to our people. Thank you to you, and thank you to the media. Thank you to the EPA family, the directors, as the deputy executive directors, all of our people, of the care technician. Until we speak again, thank you. Keep following the EPA.
Dr. Emmanuel Yuri Yakpawolo, Executive Director of the Environmental Protection Agency. He's been my guest. Julia will be here on Monday with another edition of The Conversation. My name is Trokon Wrepue. Thanks for following. Bye-bye.